So you should have grabbed worksheet number 8. It's bright yellow and there's two sides to it. And instead of me doing a bunch of examples written up as notes, we're just going to do the front side of that yellow worksheet together. So you should have the yellow worksheet out. If you didn't, go grab it. Just pause this. It says number 8 on the top of it, and we're going to do the 6 that are on the front. Number 1, it just says to simplify this monomial, single term with no pluses or minuses, over another monomial. When this looks like this and you don't see any pluses or minuses, you get to be a mad slasher. You can just divide out anything out of the top that's also living on the bottom. And I'm going to pretend that we didn't notice that there's a 6 in 12 and a 6 in 42. And what if you only took a 2 out? What you should notice is that there's still a 3 in 6 and a 3 in 21. And you just have to take 2 small bites instead of 1 big bite. So if you miss the biggest thing, you're still going to be okay. So there will be a 2 on the top and a 7 on the bottom. 4 of these x's are going to annihilate 4 of them on the top. It's going to leave 2 up on the top. So when you don't see any pluses or minuses, you just get to cancel top to bottom. Number 2, I see pluses and minuses, and what that should trigger for me is that I must factor first. Never ever cancel across an addition or a subtraction. So on the top, can I pull anything out of every term? The answer is no. This is the kind where I break it up like this. That's not a difficult one. What multiplies to equal 15? That adds up to 8. The answer is 3. And 5. So I'm going to have x plus 3, x plus 5. Again, the addition because everything in here is a plus. On the bottom, I can take a 3 out and a 3 out. So I do that, and you should never be shocked when you get the same thing on the top as lives on the bottom, because that's kind of the point of it. So when you factor, things should cancel. That's as good as that one gets, and number 2 is done. So when you see the addition and the subtraction, make sure that you factor first. All right, and then you cancel. The next one we'll do together is number 3. Number 3 is a multiplication problem, and it's already written on your worksheet, so I'm just going to write it really fast here. Again, you should be working on the yellow worksheet as we go here. So I see all these pluses or minuses. I can't start slashing that stuff. I immediately go factor. The top here does not factor, so I rewrite it. The bottom, I always ask myself, is there anything I can pull out? And the answer to that one is yes. I'm going to divide a 5 out of 5 and a 5 out of 20. Is there anything I can pull out of each of these? And the answer is no. So I'm looking for something that multiplies to equal 2 and at the same time adds up to 3. So that's just a nice, easy breakup. Same down here. This is all positive, so although I can get a 5 out of 6 and 1, the 1 would have to be negative, and then I'd have a problem with my signs. So my correct choice is 2 and 3. Once I've factored it, whole factors cancel. So my answer will be x plus 1 all over 5 times x plus 4. And I'm done. All right, so they're very rhythmic in that you do the same thing every time. If you see pluses or minuses, you factor. We should be good at factoring because you couldn't have gotten this far yet if you didn't pass your factoring test. So number 4 is a division. So what I'm going to do is rewrite the first fraction, but then I'm going to put and you'll have to rewrite this also. So take some time, rewrite that first fraction. And remember, division is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. So what we need to do is flip that second one. So I'll slow down here a little bit so that you can rewrite the problem. Division requires a rewrite before you start because you need to change the link to multiplication and you need to flip the second fraction. So once you have that written down, then we go factor everything. We don't start canceling. You don't wipe out the 12 with the 6 because the 12 is living next to an addition sign. It's not a factor. A factor means two things multiply to equal something. If I say 2 plus 5 equals 7, these aren't factors of 7. So can't have the addition or subtraction in there. On the top, put a 1 here so you can see that you're looking for things that multiply to equal 12 that you can get a 1 out of. 4 and 3 will work as long as that 4 is negative. They now multiply to equal negative 12 and they add up to negative 1. A sign error really matters in these because you won't see what cancels. So on the bottom I've got a 2-termer. So I divide a 4 out. And I'm going to notice that those x plus 3's are going to cancel when I'm done. Top right is done. Bottom right, what multiplies to equal 8 that I can get a 6 out of? Here's my winner, but it's a negative 6. So we need two negatives. So I'm going to have x minus 4, x minus 2, and now I'm going to go start canceling. This cancels with this. This cancels with this. 6 and 4 are both even, so I'm going to chop a 2 out of there. I'm going to chop a 2 out of here. When I'm all done, what's left gives me my answer. So on the top, I've got a 3. Oh, that's a weird looking 3. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. That 3 is whack. All right. On the bottom, I've got a 2 times x minus 2. And I'm done with that one. 2 more to go, and then you're going to work on the back side of it all by yourself. When it's done, you'll bring it up for me to check. But the next one I'm going to do with you is number 5. It's also a division. So with division, you need to do a rewrite. So you might want to slow this down. If I'm writing too fast for you to keep up, just pause it, do a little rewrite, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction. All right, now I don't see any addition or subtraction, so what that means is I can just start canceling anything on the top that's living on the bottom. Doesn't have to be in any specific order. It can be this over this or this over this, just as long as you find everything. So let's go start hacking at these. First of all, you'll notice that on the top I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. So I'm going to take and wipe out those 6 x's with the 6 on the bottom. Next, I know 9 goes into 45, so I can do that. I also know 5 goes into 15, but I can only wipe out one of the 5's. And it looks like I'm done. What's left on the top is just a 3, and on the bottom there's a 5 and an x cubed, and that would be done. So last one, number 6, a multiplication. Multiplication will not require you to rewrite it, but again, because when you see all that addition and subtraction, you can't just start mad slashing at stuff. You need to take it, you need to factor it, and I would actually suggest you pause this video, try doing it on your own. But for now, I'm just going to move ahead here. So I do not multiply by a reciprocal because it's not division. I don't start slashing everything because of all these pluses and minuses. I start factoring. I can pull a 6 out of 6x and 24. I can pull a 5 out of 5x and 35. Again, I'm just dividing a 5 out of each term. I can divide a 9 out of 9x and 63. I can divide a 7 out of 7x and 28. Now I get to start canceling my factors. Is there a 6 living on the bottom? No. Is there an x plus 4? Yes. Is there a 9 living on the bottom? No. No 3's, nothing that can be hacked at, but I do have an x minus 7 on the bottom. So when I'm done, on the top is 6 times 9, which is 54, and on the bottom I just have 5 times 7, which is 35, and that is completely done. So your task is to flip that worksheet over and continue working.